Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. Unless you guys are new to the channel, then well, it is very nice to meet you guys. I hope everybody is doing very well today. And so in today's video, we're going to be mostly focusing on Bitcoin as well as Orchid. And specifically with Orchid, at the end of this video, keep watching guys, because there's actually a lot of really interesting news going on with Bitcoin. But towards the end of the video, there was an AMA. And I'm going to go ahead and read through you all those major cliff notes that were highlighted on Orchid's website. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, things like that, it could be a really good opportunity for you guys to learn more about what's going on there. So first off, if you guys can, be really appreciated if you hit that thumbs up like button. We're trying to get to at least 50 likes on this video. Every video that we're doing, that's a big goal. We're a little bit of a smaller channel, obviously, but we're trying to grow and trying to build a good, strong community. If you want to subscribe as well, don't forget to click the bell notification so that you'd be alerted when there's new videos. Let's get right into the actual news, and then we'll take a look at the charts that's going on over here. Looking over with Shark Tank, if you guys know who he is, or sorry, Kevin O'Leary. He's on Shark Tank. He's a very wealthy man, and he diversifies himself into a lot of different business opportunities. He's been one to kind of downplay the whole idea of Bitcoin especially, but also other cryptocurrencies in the past. What was interesting is that he just came on and recently talked with Anthony Pompliano, who he had a debate with him on the news in the past. So the fact that they've now had some time away, Bitcoin has settled itself down, and it's actually progressed back up and showing a lot more signs to see what Kevin O'Leary is going to say about this. So Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary told the Pomp podcast that Bitcoin is too volatile and illiquid for his portfolio. Okay, but he would like to own a cryptocurrency ETF. Give me the top 7 cryptocurrencies, put them into an ETF wrapper, and let me invest in it with liquidity so that if I want to buy $1 million of it in the morning and sell $1 million in the afternoon, I can do that in an ETF format, he said. I can picture him saying this too. O'Leary added that if the SEC approved a crypto ETF, more institutional investors would buy Bitcoin. And if they do pass through with the ETF, I think that, yeah, he is correct. More investors would come in. It's not to say that no investors will come in, because guess what? We're already seeing that. And it's also one of the other things that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit of how it's being more pushed into the Wall Street side. Really cool information. He also told host Anthony Pompliano that doesn't believe that there will be only one successful cryptocurrency, and coins like Ethereum will benefit when more investors see cryptos as stores of value and potentially a medium of exchange. Whereas equity investors can buy a basket of stocks, it's harder for crypto investors to load up on multiple coins. An ETF would solve this problem. If tomorrow morning we woke up and the SEC said you can create an ETF with Bitcoin, and we think Bitcoin is a legitimate payment system and storage of wealth, not only would it go up, you'd have a lot of people like me investing in it, because I'd say, okay, I'll give it a 5% weighting, added O'Leary. Fortunately for O'Leary, the prospect of a crypto ETF may not be far out. In October, SEC Chairman James Clayton said the SEC is working on regulations that may one day authorize the use of cryptocurrency ETFs. Hey, I mean, a lot of stuff has been moving forward. Look at how much went forward with Bitcoin this year. Look at how many institutions. You got PayPal. You've got all these other major players coming in, allowing, not allowing, but buying up a Bitcoin. Grayscale. You got also MicroStrategy, and then you've also got the stuff going on with Visa and their card system, and then you got like Kraken doing their bank over in Wyoming. Like, there's a lot of stuff that continuously evolves with this, and it's so exciting to see how this progresses next into the future. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Next thing is Bitcoin is the wrong price for the possibilities. It has Bitcoin is the wrong price for the possibilities it has, says Paul Tudor Jones. That was kind of a weird way to say that sentence, but yeah. So if you guys don't know who Paul Tudor Jones is, he's a major hedge fund manager, very wealthy man, very well respected, and especially for his recent remarks, he said prior to this major rally that started taking place with Bitcoin, he made the remark that if you're going to bet on a horse, you bet on the fastest horse, and he believes right now the fastest horse is Bitcoin. So a couple quotes from him. With a market cap of $500 billion, it's the wrong market cap in a world where you got $90 trillion worth of equity market cap and God knows how many trillions of fiat currency. Bitcoin reminds me so much of the internet stocks of 1999 because the internet was in its infancy. No one knew how to value it because of the world of possibility that lay ahead. Jones expects that everyone, including sovereign nations, will be using some type of digital currency over the next 20 years. By that time, the digital currency market will be a lot like the metal complex of today, where you have precious crypto like Bitcoin assuming the role of gold and transactional cryptos serving the function of industrial metals like copper and aluminum. Crypto assets will officially hit Wall Street data feeds in 2021, allowing investors to monitor minute-by-minute price movements. S&P Dow Jones Indices announced Thursday it will soon debut cryptocurrency indexes on more than 550 of the top traded coins. Doesn't specify which of these coins, though, so that's something to really keep in mind. But, can you imagine they cover all these altcoins and they don't put Bitcoin, they don't put Bitcoin or Ethereum on any of the lists? Obviously the top 100 should be the most realistic that you're going to see, especially the ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, I would assume probably Monero. It'd be really nice to see Orchid on that list as well. And when they've got over 500, I think it's more than likely to take place. So, it's going to be interesting. Okay, next thing. Chinese state-run media believes Bitcoin price surge is just hype while praising blockchain. So this is actually pretty cool in a sense, because normally they try and stray away from the whole cryptocurrency side, and that's one of the things they highlight here. So the idea that they're, as a media outlet, now talking more proactively about blockchain itself, and even mentioning Bitcoin, it feels like it's a slight step forward for this industry space. Bosina, I'm going to butcher these names, Bosina and Shin Huanet have stated that the recent rally in Bitcoin prices has no clear explanation. Instead, the reporters behind the article, Mao Zhenhua and Zhang Xiaohui, said people should focus on pro-blockchain state policies. The article adds that while crypto trading still represents an investment method that only generates uncertainty, blockchain technology is within a narrow right path, the result of which will be fully realized in the future. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that them making any kind of remarks about this is good, or do you think that they should have emphasized a little bit more that this is a positive for Bitcoin? They're identifying it more as a hype, so it's kind of like a brush off to the side. Very interesting too when you've got most of the hash rate and the miners coming from China, and so their writers are saying stuff like this. Very unusual. Okay, next thing. Oldest Bitcoin mining pool immortalizes bullish Reuters headline. Routers? I think it's routers. Anyways, Slush Pool, the world's oldest mining pool, put a Reuters headline about Bitcoin's 2020 bull run in a block on December 2nd. Dollar plummets on U.S. stimulus hopes. Bitcoin hits all-time peak is now part of Bitcoin block number 659678. Fun little side piece added in, right? Now, this is actually interesting and a tribute because of the first Genesis block. Or the first block that was the Genesis block, right? Because back then in 2009, there was a code that was written on that, and it said, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. It was a headline from the Times. So, nice little tribute, in my opinion. Kind of signifying that, we're about to see another new progressive movement start. And with the whole economy tanking how it did in 2008, going in 2009, we're seeing a lot of that having taken place over this year, too. Bitcoin arrives on Wall Street. Here we go. S&P Dow Jones launching crypto indexes in 2021. In the latest big move by traditional finance to incorporate crypto, 550 coins will appear in the new indexes starting next year. In a press release on Thursday, S&P DJI describes Bitcoin, BTC, and altcoins as an emerging asset class. Emerging asset. That means it's got more to go. We're not at the peak. We're just getting started. It's just now emerging. With digital assets such as cryptocurrencies becoming a rapidly emerging asset class, that's even more important. Rapidly, very quick. The time is right for independent, reliable, and user-friendly benchmarks. Peter Rothman, Global Head of Innovation and Strategy at S&P DJI, state in the press release. We're excited to work with Luca, who has been at the forefront of digital asset data services to promote more transparency in this nascent sector. Our collaboration with S&P DJI is yet another milestone that bridges the gap between the crypto asset ecosystem and traditional financial services. Robert Materazzi, CEO of Luca, added, geez, so many people got crazy names. What happened to Bill and Bob, Jim, Ted? In a rapidly maturing industry, it is paramount to build to institutional standards when working with highly respected brands such as S&P DJI. Luca is thrilled. That wasn't a complicated word. I just butchered it. Geez, I even butchered. Luca is thrilled to help drive ongoing innovation in collaboration with S&P DJI. Okay, moving on to the next bit of information. I'm actually going to take a quick little sip of water here. Props to you. Ivan on Tech. Not as much water as what he drinks, though. I should drink much more. Got to stay hydrated. U.S. proposes new stablecoin law. How does it impact Bitcoin? Well, this is kind of rocky ground, and it's being more suggested on the negative side. But, you know, if things are more regulated, it could potentially also prevent a lot of illegal activity of things. And so in that sense, illegal activity is bad, right? So, okay. Anyways, the Stable Act seeks to apply strict measures for stablecoins, which could impact the adoption of Bitcoin, as they're stating here. Although its progress has been stalled for more than a year, the press release on the law mentions Facebook's Libra as one of these risks, among other stablecoins such as Tether and USDC. The law is intended to regulate all commercial activity related to stablecoins and their issuance. Therefore, if the stable law is passed, it will require the following: all issuers of a stablecoin to obtain a banking charter, stablecoin service providers to follow the appropriate regulations for a bank. Companies or banks issuing a stablecoin must obtain approval from the Federal Reserve, FDCI, and any other appropriate banking agency 6 months prior to the issuance of the asset. Finally, issuers of a stablecoin must obtain issuance from the FDCI or hold reserves at the Federal Reserve to ensure that the asset is backed by US dollars. Now, the idea of this being considered a threat. According to the crypto community, the new laws is a step backwards for the industry in the United States. If passed, it could make illegal a number of stable coins that would affect several sectors, including Ethereum's DeFi sector. In the last few months, PayPal, Square, and other well-known companies have invested in Bitcoin. As the specialist Adam Cochran said, much of this investment first passes through a gateway in the form of a stablecoin. Therefore, he believes there could be a negative impact on the industry in general. If you cut off stablecoins, the market will bleed. Not to mention a significant portion of institutional trading capital in the U.S. transacts in stablecoins. Let's hope this bill goes nowhere. Agreeing on that. Other community members have noted that cryptocurrencies and stablecoins have served to allow the unbanked to access financial services. Hayden Adams, inventor of the decentralized exchange based on Ethereum Uniswap, said, if the U.S. wants to protect consumers from risky stablecoins, it should release an official government-backed USD token that you can pay taxes with. This just hurts innovation and provides no alternative. Bullish for Ethereum, Bitcoin, and synthetic dollars, though. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is, if this goes through, is it going to be really that bad? Or do you think everything will be okay? The way I look at it personally, by the way, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Always inserting that stuff in these things, right? But the way that I look at it is that if you have them follow these guidelines, and let's say Tether and the USDC, if I'm interpreting this correctly, if they're still able to exist, but they just have to say, hey, Federal Reserve, what we're creating is like a 1-to-1 ratio of what you have, right? The value is determined on what you guys have. So we're not printing more money off of what you have, imaginary. We're getting approval for you so that basically you can identify what you have. There's an equivalency of exchange. So essentially help to prevent the idea of counterfeiting money, essentially, right? Because it's like just saying that it's representing the same thing doesn't necessarily mean that it's backed directly by the same thing. There's a reference point. That's just the way that I look at it. If I'm misinterpreting it, you guys can tell me. I know down here they said that a lot of people were kind of with this, but you know, I don't think it's personally that concerning. But you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. Okay. Now let's get to the AMA with this, and then we'll take a look at the charts. Sound good? On with Orchid AMA recap with Global Community Manager Derek Silva. Orchid recently joined the Blockchain Infinity group for an Ask Me Anything session to satisfy the curiosity from its more than 10,000 member community for information about the first incentivized peer-to-peer privacy network. Guys, if you can, please do me a favor, by the way, real quick. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up button, and you do appreciate all this information. Again, we're trying to get to at least 50 likes. Feel free to subscribe, and also, if you guys can, click the bell notification. Thank you. Host at Xanity asked our global community manager Derek Silva about Orchid's crypto-powered VPN solution, fielded questions via Twitter, and took queries from the Blockchain Infinity community Telegram chat group. Here are the highlights of Derek's answers in what turned out to a lively session that covered everything from Orchid's digital asset OXT to nano payments to anonymous transactions. Essential Orchid. Question: what is Orchid? DS. Okay. At its core, Orchid is a layer 2 scaling solution that makes nano payments, very, very tiny payments, affordable and achievable on the blockchain. It makes a marketplace of services and customers using those services possible thanks to an anonymous account infrastructure, secure connectivity, and nano payments. To help showcase that technology, the first service built on top of nano payments is a decentralized VPN marketplace. When you connect to Orchid, you are connected to a random node in the default curator list of partners who are running Orchid's VPN node software. All the code is open source and is constantly being improved. In the future, anyone will be able to create a curator, and we hope that bandwidth providers will compete on different fronts like high-performance servers, low-cost servers, country-specific servers, etc. That will give anyone with a computer and excess bandwidth the chance to earn some money selling it, and provides Orchid users more privacy and security by utilizing non-traditional VPN nodes. Orchid and blockchain. How does Orchid use blockchain? Orchid curated lists of nodes are registered to the blockchain. For example, the default curator has its own Ethereum domain, and you can see it when you check your Orchid hop settings. Create an Orchid account and funding it both happen on-chain. You lift your OXT from the Orchid Nano Payment smart contract during the process, and everything is secured and validated via Ethereum. And of course, Orchid's account management DApp requires a Web3 enabled browser or an extension to work. MetaMask works nicely. OXT, Orchid's digital asset. What's the OXT use case? OXT is the token that anyone who wants to provide services on the platform must stake. So to advertise your VPN node on the blockchain, you must stake OXT. In order to remain competitive with other services in the same curator, you want to stake as many or more OXT than they are to make sure you're first in line to serve new customers, as long as you have capacity. OXT is also staked by clients to show they have enough OXT to pay for the service, and issue on-chain lottery tickets that help secure the network on Ethereum itself. And it's the payment token of choice. If you create an Orchid account and fund it, the OXT is then streamed on a byte-to-byte basis to the provider you are connected to if the service is on. Anywhere, anytime. Are there any regional restrictions for using VPN Orchid? No restrictions whatsoever. We have even had people use it in China. Privacy and personal data protection. How does VPN Orchid protect the privacy and personal data of its users? Orchid does not collect any personal data whatsoever. No name, email, address, credit card, etc. The client app shows you a traffic monitor of what's happening on your phone, but that data is not sent to Orchid or anyone else, and the servers don't collect logs. Orchid does not want your data. To be honest, it makes building and marketing Orchid much harder, but we feel it's worth it to provide a truly private service. Even Orchid's website doesn't have any cookies, and all the JavaScript was recently removed. Really interesting. I didn't know about that either. Protocol security. How secure is Orchid protocol? Nothing is perfect, but we feel Orchid is incredibly secure. Two of the founders are two of the most respected technologists in the industry. Jay Freeman, also known as Sorek, the original iPhone jailbreaker and founder of Cydia, and Brian Fox, an open source advocate and the creator of the Bash shell. Them, along with other developers on the team, focus on security throughout the software development lifecycle. The code is all open source. The smart contract was audited by Consensus Diligence, and so far no one has brought any serious app vulnerabilities to our attention. Anonymous transactions. Can anonymous transactions be performed on the Orchid protocol network? The simple answer is yes. That's why Orchid exists, so that people can access services in a secure, anonymous manner from, in the future, hundreds of providers. If you reuse the same Ethereum wallet for everything, the fact that you have created an Orchid account won't be anonymous. However, no one will see OXT leaving your wallet every day because of the nano payments solution. Payments mostly come from the nano payments contract, and every once in a while a larger random payment would come from your account. It's doubtful anyone will know exactly how much bandwidth you're using. If you want a truly private account, then you could create a brand new wallet, send it OXT by routing it through various channels, or something like tornado.cash, and then make your Orchid account with that brand new wallet. That's a set of processes most people don't need to worry about, but it's available. Okay, nano payment solution. What are Orchid nano payments? Orchid's nano payment solution is essentially our own layer 2 chain, but a little bit different. When you're connected to the service, your payments are streamed to the providers on a byte by byte basis. So you could be sending as little as whatever that number is, astronomically small 1 is what we'll call it, OXT each second based on the traffic you're sending across the service. Every once in a while, to catch up with the nano payments, an on-chain lottery ticket is issued. You need enough OXT in your account to generate this ticket, and a provider must claim it. This helps secure the network on Ethereum's Layer 1 blockchain. Ethereum selection. Why did you build Orchid on Ethereum? That's a cool question. We chose Ethereum for a few reasons. One, it has the most mature DApp development ecosystem. Keep in mind, Orchid has been under development for several years. Two, there's a large, passionate community of developers already building on Ethereum, making attracting talent much easier. Three, Ethereum helped achieve Orchid's privacy goals very quickly. It's not perfect, and we must do more for truly anonymous payments at all times, but using Ethereum got us a good portion of the way there immediately. Delivering promises. How much progress has Orchid made? We released the Android app in December 2019. The iOS app came a few months later, and the Mac OS app just a month after that. The Windows client is in development, and since all the code is on GitHub and fully open source at all times, you can always see what we're doing. Some of our community members even know what's going to be released on the blog before others because they check the GitHub. What I can say is that Orchid's team has a proven track record, and we continue to release and improve the product all the time. I think the past performance on that speaks for itself. And that's going to be the end for the AMA aspect. Now we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at the technical charts for Bitcoin and for Orchid. We are previous day moving up in the green with Bitcoin, pushed up to a point around $19,650. Absolutely awesome, getting closer towards breaking that 20K mark and establishing itself on that foothold point, right? On the daily, we are seeing a little bit of a retracement back down, 19,380. It's bobbing up and down though, as you guys can see, even on the daily, which has only been around for about 2 hours now. My time, it's almost 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 19,550, right around in that range. That's what we had for a high so far. We've already dipped down to 19,329, and we've climbed back up some. So it's going to be interesting to see how this progresses through with tomorrow. And tomorrow's a Friday, right? So it could be an opportunity where Friday just decides to be the skyrocket, and it pushes it past the 20K mark and establishing itself throughout the weekend, and then potentially Monday we could see another further rally. If we go above $20,000, if it kicks back down, but we're retesting this multiple times, and the fact that we're staying above $19,000, in my opinion, is absolutely great news so far, right? It's not just immediately going back all the way down. It's contesting, trying to fight for that $19,000. If it was to have a drop all the way down to the 21 EMA, because the 21 EMA is continuously rising itself now with this progressive movement up with Bitcoin, that's at $18,000. So even still, right, we're $8,000 above when we first hit the five-digit mark. Well, not the first, but the last time we passed over. You know, everyone was like, last time we see Bitcoin under 10K, and then it went down below, and it's like, last time we see Bitcoin under 10K, because it went up above again. And people kept saying it over and over again until finally people are like, do I even say it this time? And then guess what? People weren't expecting it. It started to rally and exploded. So, massive drop right here to hit that 21 EMA. That's $18,000. Still very, very good by comparison to the yearly progressive movement, especially from the end of last year. So hopefully it doesn't drop down that much. As you guys can see, when it dropped down to $18,125 here back on December 1st. That was the low point for the day, but it retraced all the way back up and ended up closing at 18,786. So there was panic. Yeah. There was people that decided to sell and take a profit. Yeah. But other people are like, I understand the value of this long term. And at these prices compared to 100,000 to 500,000, I'm okay with getting it. And if it continues to go down, I'm assuming that it's going to go back up. More than likely, right? And I'm willing to take that risk. That's the kind of mentality. So people had those buy orders and it started rallying back up. And so when it got a lot more of that support going back up, other people fed into it too. Breaking 20K, that's a big key point, guys. Let's break above that. Let's break above the previous day, 19,630. Let's get above this point, 19,725. Got some key levels right here. That's looking at on the daily. Now let's go take a look over at Orchid. Orchid is in the green. We had that big red drop off, but we also saw that take place with Bitcoin and a lot of the other cryptocurrency space. So that's not really that surprising. 3 days now in the green. And as of today's date, we are, again, very new. The volume is pretty low for here. Something that I wanted to note that I thought was really interesting, when you see these high levels of volume and then the progressive movement of volume down, it's 2 to 3 days that seems to be consistent before a volume starts to peak up yet again. So we just had a peak up from previous here. If volume was to be more quiet and it just moved kind of a sideways progressive movement, which doesn't necessarily mean, by the way, that if there's low volume, the price isn't going to be moving much, because it could move all in one direction, right? It could be like everyone decides to sell, there was no one buying, so the volume looks low, but the price still fluctuates. But just from a volume standpoint, for you guys to keep in mind, you go take a look back through this, you can actually see that there's a lot of points where, like for example, a high right here. Guess what? There were 2 days down and then it came back up. 2 days down, came back up. 2 days down, came back up. Progressive movement up even further. 2 days down, came back up. You can see right here with this decline, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 instances. A little bit more of a unique situation right there. And then it had a progressive turnover there too. Right here, 1, 2, 3, and then came back up. Over here, there's 1, 2, back up. This continues moving up, then 1, 2, 3. So it's about 2 to 3 days on average I've been seeing progressively of a downtrend before it comes back up. If this was to be considered a high volume and it just decides it really wants to be calm right now, then I wouldn't really expect more than 3 days, potentially a fourth day. But just looking back as I went through all the way from this major rally, 1, 2, 3, then back up a little bit. And if it does that, though, most of the time it seems to be in the red zone when this takes place. We are seeing a shift in this overall, which is very good. That baseline was progressively moving down, and now it's forming new higher lows as it goes continuously off in this direction. So that is good news. Very good news. The fact that it's still above the 21 EMA is still very good news. If it drops below that 21 EMA, then I might have a little bit for a cause of concern. I kind of showed this the other day, but this kind of head and shoulders pattern that's being formed right here. Oh God, that didn't quite turn out as pointed what I wanted it to look like. That wasn't intentional. Oh man. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, anyways, guys, so potentially a pullback. I would be keeping an eye on 0.2777, and if it breaks above this consolidated zone, a key level that I've had for quite a long time here, get above that 0.3235. Get above that 0.3379. Let's get it over into the median range around 35 cents again. That itself is establishment would be absolutely great, because then we're then looking at breaking above the next Fibonacci right around the 0.3717, and then this point right here, 0.3768, and then psychologically you want to get into the 40-cent range. I am expecting more than likely that if it is going to continue into another rally, we're going to see a large green candle like this one here take place. And so there might be that retracement that breaks all the way into the 40-cent range, and a retracement back down to right around the 35-cent range. And if it can establish itself for a daily candle close right around 35 cents, then I feel a continuation back up into the 40-cent range is going to be more reinforced. So as long as a maintaining period of time above the 35-cent range can occur from a psychological standpoint, it's going to reaffirm the idea of a 40-cent range, continuous movement, and a further bull run. An era of caution is that on December 6th, according to the Orchid website, there's going to be a post large amount of Orchid. I think it's like 7 million Orchid. Go ahead and take a look at it real quick. Why not? Instead of me just referring to it and you guys going to go do all the work, I'm going to do the work for you, right? So take a look right down here. You can actually see post December 6th, 7,311,000. I want to know for clarification if this is supposed to all happen that day. Post. I mean, these ones have specific dates. That one's just post, right? So it could be any time. It could be one every day. It could be 100,000 one day and 7,200,000 another day. So if you guys know specifically on that release schedule for that, if they have any plans or intentions on it, let me know. So it's going to be curious, I'm going to be very curious about December 6th, and I would keep an eye on that date, December 6th and the following day, December 7th, to see how the market decides to react with something like that. We've had past instances where there was major drops, and I still have these purple lines right here, and it was just progressive movements down that kind of took place. There was a major spike that kind of took place in the median zone, but this was just ever since that major rally, it's been suffering. Altcoins go in a cycle, and you can see this cycle looks like it's starting to build some momentum, which is interesting too when you think about it, because a lot of times December tends to be the downtrend for altcoins, and with Bitcoin going on its rally, if altcoin season is like normal and it starts in the January period, the fact that this is already getting momentum could mean a massive explosion up. I would absolutely love to see this go way to the moon, right? And I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. I'm still bullish on this. I'm a little bit concerned with what looks to be that head and shoulders pattern, but as it is right now, things are still looking really good. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video with that. Once again, guys, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed yourselves, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like button. It's greatly appreciated if you guys do that. And also the bell notification so you can be alerted of future videos on this channel when they go up, when they go live, when they go up, when I do a premiere or whatever. Let us know all of your thoughts and opinions about everything we said today in the comments down below. I highly encourage you guys to do that, and for other people to go look there and see what other people are saying if you want to engage in that conversation. And I love you guys. Thank you all so much for your support. You guys are great, and I'll see you in the next episode.